Now, moving over to domestic matters, the biggest bombshell that happened today is this FOIA release of, and I wouldn't say just today, I would say within the last 2 days. Now, BuzzFeed News, they actually obtained thousands of pages, over, I'd say about 3,200 pages of emails from the first 6 months of 2020, I want to say, showing Dr. Anthony Fauci basically working behind the scenes, fielding questions from reporters, scientists, experts, random strangers. But the biggest there are a number of different takeaways from it. And of course, when you go through a bunch of emails, it takes some time to really sort of understand and connect the dots. But there were some immediate takeaways from this. First of which, and this is from the Washington Examiner, my former employer, Jerry Dunleavy, who is a Habibi by default. He wrote an article titled Fauci worked behind the scenes.
Only Allah can help them save their souls.
He writes a headline title, an article titled "Fauci worked behind the scenes to cast doubt on Wuhan lab leak hypothesis." Email shows. He goes, Dr. Anthony Fauci quietly worked behind the scenes to help cast doubt on the Wuhan lab leak possibility in favor of the natural origins hypothesis during the early months of the COVID-19 pandemic. Newly released email show. I'm not going to get into the whole thing. I'm just going to quickly breeze through this one. And then there is a good article from Town Hall that highlights some of the other bombshells, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But the article continues. Fauci, the head of the National Institutes of Health's National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, appeared to provide guidance to scientists who pushed back against the lab leak hypothesis. And he shared articles with reporters and other health officials that critiqued the possibility that COVID-19 may have escaped from a Chinese government lab in Wuhan. Now, the communications by President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor, who has led NIAID since 1984, were part of the 3,200 pages of emails obtained by BuzzFeed through FOIA. Now, one particular part, the first article shared by Fauci is that he appeared to have given some sort of input on, it was a piece published in Nature on March 17, 2020 by Christian Anderson, a microbiologist at Scripps Research, as well as a host of other epidemiologists and researchers. The piece argued in favor of COVID-19's origin being a zoonotic event and would widely be cited to dismiss the lab leak hypothesis in the early months of the pandemic. Now, if you watched our show last week, we talked about it a bit more in detail and why the actual lab leak hypothesis has gained traction. And this is before, obviously, the emails have dropped. Now, if you go over to townhall.com, they actually have some interesting takeaways from it. First of which was that scientists told Fauci that COVID-19 might be engineered, but he ended up ignoring them. Now, let me just pull this up just so I'm not getting anything wrong. There was I want to say that, and with respect to that particular author, Christian Anderson, who's an NIH scientist, she told Fauci that the Wuhan coronavirus looked, quote unquote, potentially engineered. In other words, it was manipulated in a lab through gain of function research. I realize I'm really blurry right now that I tuned into this. I know I don't want to make your eyes glaze over from all the details, but I feel like it's somewhat important to at least tell you some of the big takeaways here. Another big one is that Fauci knew masks didn't work and told people not to wear them. This is in February of last year. Now, Jay, the only mask I think that works is your Eat More Ass mask. I think that is the most effective mask we have to date.
I mean, all this time, no COVID, and the reason why is because I wear this everywhere I go. It was the perfect mask. Even though it didn't work for shit, as we find out now that these don't actually do shit for anybody, but it was a really good thing to wear. I mean, these revelations about Fauci is it's unsurprising to a lot of people who knew that Fauci was a fucking snake, anyways. So everyone who was like in the beginning, of course, I was one person who's like, give him a chance, all this kind of stuff. But as we were getting more and more deeper and deeper into the into the pandemic, it's just that the guy was such a fucking snake. He flip-flopped on so many different issues. He never really came out and said and gave actual real advice. And when the vaccines were coming out, he was still casting a lot of doubt on the vaccine itself, trying to keep everyone in masks, even though he's saying without the vaccine, it wasn't even working. So the guy is a fucking snake. And one of the main ones that is really disgusting too is how Fauci would come at DeSantis and do nothing with Kioma but give him praise, saying that New York was the idol situation. Everyone should be like New York, when New York is like probably the worst fucking state, or at least in the top 2 out of the whole fucking country. So you just know that the guy is a fucking snake. He's a bureaucrat. He's out for himself. He wants to sell his books now. And the sickest thing that you're seeing right now is all of these journalists getting on their knees, running up to suck his dick and try to throw damage control over these email leaks. Who the fuck are these people supposed to be? Are they supposed to be comms for Fauci and the Biden administration? No, they're not the ones who are supposed to come out and say and give defense to bureaucrats and politicians when they're coming out showcasing who they really fucking are. But not our media. Our media time and time again will come out and protect Biden, come out and protect fucking Fauci. Who gives a fucking fuck about Fauci? Like, why are you protecting him when he came out and fooled you and caused this huge economic downturn that we were seeing throughout this whole fucking pandemic? It makes no sense to me. I am on the side of Ron Paul. I want Rand Paul, whatever the fuck his name is, and I want Fauci back in that seat and thrown in fucking jail. That's what I want.
So there was one particular bit from CNN. I don't know if you could see that very well. This is how they reported on the Fauci email dump. It says thousands of emails from and to Dr. Fauci reveal the weight that came with his role as a rare source of frank honesty within the Trump administration's COVID-19 task force. Just look at, there was quite a ratio. Of course, I listed them, but look at that ratio right there. 4,600 replies. Also, and I'm going to.
It is Pride Month, so you can see that, CNN was trying to get in their male on male dick sucking for Pride Month. So that was that tweet right there.
You got to do it. And not to mention, I feel like, and there's actually a really good bit. I forgot to download this. I'm going to get this right now. But it is basically, as you said, the massive amounts of dick sucking happening for Fauci by the media. And it just happened. It seems to happen time and time again, where people who should speak truth to power, let alone, I mean, like, it's not like Fauci isn't someone who's in a position of power. He very much is. He is a scientist who dictates public health and public policy. And every single time you get Fauci on, a news media network, you have someone like MSNBC, you have MSNBC's Nicole Wallace get on camera, have Fauci basically on there to just basically defend himself. They're helping him out and just like they're like spoon feeding him defenses at this juncture. So
Fauci, as the hero of America, what do you think of these emails? That's how they started off.
Yeah, like
it's sick. It's so sick.
It's like they're trying to avoid a Hillary 2.0 because because of all the way her emails were portrayed in the media showed obviously that she felt that she was not beholden to the laws of the land. And I actually have the clip right now of Nicole Wallace with Fauci. We're just going to watch a little snip of it.
And just on this point of your public profile, I read through your emails that were released, and I just want to read one of them. There were a lot of inquiries about your public profile. I mean, this very conversation was much harder to have under the ex-president. And this was your response to one about whether or not you'd have a press conference. You wrote, "Yikes, that would make 4 days in a row without a press conference for me, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and tomorrow." I wonder if you feel like you're still making up some of that lost ground from many months under the last administration of not just no information, but disinformation being out there. Do you still see some hardness among his supporters around the vaccine or around some of these messages you're sharing with us today?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that there are people out there who, for one reason or other, resent me for what I did in the last administration, which was not anything that was anti-Trump at all. It was just trying to get the right information, to try and get the right data. And what they didn't seem to understand, I guess that's understandable that they didn't understand it, is that science is a dynamic process. So something that you know in January, you make a recommendation or a comment about it. But as you get more and more information, the information leads you to change, because that's what science is. It's a self-correcting process. So when you hear someone say something at one point, and then 2 or 3 months later, if you stick with what you said at the original time when you had 1/5 the amount of data that you have now, I think that would be inappropriate. It's appropriate, although sometimes it's difficult for people to understand, how as you learn more and more, you've got to continue to evolve with the data. And that's what I was trying to do, is to always tell the truth on the basis of what the data is. And it was never deliberately something against the president. In fact, you spoke about my emails. You look at my emails, I never in the email said anything derogatory about President Trump.
Well, the true mark of someone is if they look good, even when their personal emails come out. So you passed the test that very few of us would pass. Dr. Anthony Fauci, thank you for spending some time with us today talking about all of it. We're always grateful to get.
God fucking damn it.
I couldn't really understand her questions because she was too busy gagging on that dick.
Jay, it's like Mickey Mouse gargling balls. Jay, like, what the fuck is that last statement? The true mark of someone is if they look good even when their personal emails come out. So you pass the test very few of us would pass. Come the fuck on, Nicole Wallace. What the fuck is that?
It's so stupid.
I get the idea.
Taken out.
Look, I was willing to give Anthony Fauci the benefit of the doubt that he evolved his views as more information came out, but he was basically in on it from the beginning. I don't know why. I haven't seen enough people say this word, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Jay, you ready for me to say it?
Let me hear it.
It's a fucking cover-up.
Thank you very much.
Fauci knew where this money was going to, the NIH funding, to the Wuhan lab. He said, oh, you know, they may or may not have used it. They told me they weren't using any of that money for gain-of-function research. And then his own scientists say, this looks actually engineered, biologically engineered. We might want to keep an eye on this. And then he turns around to the public and says, this is completely out of nature. Could have come out of a wet market. Could have come out of it came from a bat. Now, there is actually some truth. There is some truth to the actual natural origin of the virus. But if you watched our previous episode where we actually talk about the lab leak theory in more detail, the natural origin was from 2012 when a bunch of miners, like people working in a mine, not, people under the age of 18, were actually, they contracted the coronavirus. Crypto? What?
Well, yeah, because miners are crypto. Like I was thinking about crypto.
Oh, you're thinking about crypto
people.
miners? Oh my god, you're such a nerd.
Yeah. I am.
Like, who the fuck's out there mining for coal? Like, the only miners I know, it's fucking mining Bitcoin.
Bitcoin and Ether.
Yeah. So, I think there's a 96% identical. I think the virus that was obtained from, I believe the virus that was obtained from that particular cave, that mine, was 96% identical to the virus that emerged, hypothetically speaking, from the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And you know which institute took that vaccine? Not the vaccine, took that virus in to study? The fucking Wuhan Institute of Virology, which the U.S. government was backing with our taxpayer dollars, 100%. So that being said, Fauci knows a bunch of shit. He was duplicitous on the AIDS epidemic too. People like to talk about how, oh, Anthony Fauci, he's my hero. Like, no, he's a fucking politician who masquerades as a scientist and gives bullshit advice to the American public and has everyone gripped in fear. And I should state for the record, next time someone tells me to put on a mask, I'm showing them that fucking email from Fauci saying, you know what, masks don't actually work. It's true. They don't work.
It is. You don't even have to show your vaccine passport anymore either. They didn't work. But the vaccines do work. And that's the funny thing about this is, like he was saying, with new information, we start saying some other stuff. The vaccines came out, people were getting vaccinated, and he's still saying you have to wear a mask. He's still telling people that no, you shouldn't embrace each other. And he's still telling people don't be in a room with each other while he's emailing other people being like, these stupid fucks. Masks don't work. And then you have the stupid Nicole. Oh, thank you for bullying me.
So Jay, this is all about control. It's clearly about control. People do not want to admit that the government specifically was looking to tell us that, that, and I'm not even talking about the Trump government. I'm talking about like the people want to talk about the deep state. This is the bureaucracy of Washington, in which people within Washington, D.C. specifically try to grip us with fear, get us to hunker down into our homes, avoid contact with anyone, not go out, not go to our places of employment, not go to school, not go out to eat, not go grocery shopping, just immense fear. And what did Stalin say? He's like, there was a quote that Stalin had, like, if you want to get the people to do anything, I think I'm paraphrasing here, you do it through fear. Let me get the actual quote.
I think that was that Stalin, or was that the Italian guy Mussolini?
Mussolini?
I think it was Mussolini.
Maybe it's, I don't know. I'm sure one of the Habibis will chime in here with it. And anyways, I gotta highlight this. I don't know. Did I highlight this shit post last week? My shit post.
Which one?
This one. Did I bring that up last week? If not, I'm bringing it up again. I don't give a shit.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
I tweeted this back. Again. I tweeted this back February 27th, 2020. Because of course I was reacting to obviously the worst stock market drop. And if you have recalled, the economy was Trump's biggest blue chip. That was his strongest asset as president. You take that away, what do you have? Well, you just have someone who rage tweets.
Right.
And so I tweeted, you a simp, the coronavirus originated out of nowhere. Me, a galaxy brain genius. The Chinese invented coronavirus and created a pandemic to cause an economic recession to hurt Trump's chances of re-election and get a president with a weaker stance towards China. That is looking more and more right by the day.
It's like a message out of my dad's WhatsApp.
So yeah.
And it is. And another thing that was really funny is how these people are talking about, be worry of racism and all that kind of stuff, and they're like, yeah, it came from Chinese people eating bat soup, and it's like, that's a little bit worse than saying there was a
that's
leak
actually
from the
way
lab.
more racist.
That was an accident.
Yeah, it like the people dismissed that there were actual Wuhan lab scientists who got sick in the fall of 2019 before the coronavirus spread to the rest of the city of Wuhan. And then it became racist to even use the term Wuhan or Chinese coronavirus because that apparently drove up anti-Asian sentiment. And in fact, I think there was it the Washington Post that tweeted out something along the lines of how, like, just trying to discover what the origin is of the coronavirus is going to drive up anti-Asian discrimination. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, it's, do these people care about truth?
Nope.
They don't care about the truth.
No, they're paid by China. They are able to be propagandists for China, and we just allow this shit to happen with our companies, with our media, with our entertainment industry. There needs to be serious consequences for anyone who does dealings with the government of China. I really seriously believe it. It's not about capitalism. It's not about, free market. It's not about any of that kind of shit. It's the fact that these people are here to destroy the United States and the free world, and we are just allowing them to do it and giving them our money and bending over and like, Z, fuck me up the ass, please. And then you have Nicole go, yes, please.
No lube, no Vaseline.
No lube. It's so fucking stupid. It really is. Oh. It's mind-boggling to me. It's just so fucking insane.
Real quick, shout out to Greg Price over the Daily Caller for getting this joint. He highlights this stealth edit that was made this was the original headline from the Washington Post 15 months ago. It says, Tom Cotton keeps repeating a coronavirus conspiracy theory that was already debunked. Get ready for the chase. That was the shot. Get ready for the chaser. Tom Cotton keeps repeating a coronavirus fringe theory that scientists have disputed. Get the fuck out of here, WAPO. Go fuck yourself.
And no apology. No one coming out and saying this shouldn't have happened. This was not really based in science, because nobody debunked this. 0 people debunked this fucking theory.
They just said the word debunked. They said the word debunked, and they hoped that was what would stick.
Right. And now they have complete egg on their face. And the media does this on purpose because they're not held accountable. There is nobody out there holding these pieces of garbage accountable for the shit they do like this. And it's happened time and time again. It's 100% complete, essential garbage. And honestly, the more people who are up in arms against the mainstream media, the better. I'm not saying everybody in the mainstream media and every journalist who works in it are horrible, but the fact that you work there just, makes me want to slap you a little bit harder.
Now, apparently there was an update there was actually a correction made. I'm pulling that up. Just give me one moment while my computer runs at 0.69 megabytes per second.
Nice.
Let's pull this up real quick. Why am I all fuzzy still? God damn it. Is this it? Here we go. All right, let me zoom in here. Correction. Hopefully you can read that just all right. It said earlier versions of the story and its headline inaccurately characterized comments by Senator Tom Cotton regarding the origins of the coronavirus. The term debunked and the post use of conspiracy theory have been removed because then as now, there was no determination about the origins of the virus. Are you fucking kidding me? We literally just said this. Now. They literally just used the word debunk to say it was debunked because it sounded too crazy for them. But you know what? And I heard this. I saw this great. I'm in a group chat with Shu, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, and she said, and I don't know who said this quote. I'm gonna just attribute it to Shu. Just because she said, what's the difference between the truth and the conspiracy theory?
What is it?
6 months. 6 months. That is it. Like, it's if people would fucking wait to get to like actually do their due diligence, do the reporting. Look, the way BuzzFeed characterized the story is garbage, but I credit them at least getting the fucking emails, because look at this fucking headline, and just give me a moment while I pull this up.
Well, what I like with the last one,
I'm really on one
even
tonight.
with the correction. No, you are, and it's great. And the correction you brought up in the article still itself, it calls it a fringe theory. It still calls it a fringe theory, and that's not what it was. It's one of the most prevalent theories out there right now, and the origin of it.
Yeah. So BuzzFeed News, this is the headline. Anthony Fauci's emails reveal the pressure that fell on one man, which is, I don't know how the fuck you're going to paint it like that. It is, they're literally trying to make this man still a hero, despite the fact that all of his, the emails look like he was fucking in on it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely did. And and it looked like that. It looked like that because that's what he wanted. I'm going to give you a tweet.
You're going to send me something? How are you going to send it to me?
You on Discord.
Private chat? Discord,
private
which
chat.
I have shut down because it probably eats up too much.
Oh, did you really?
Up too much. No, I just like my RAM, my memory is just garbage. So
I'm putting it in private chat here.
I'm getting. No, just send it to me.
Here.
All right, you already sent it. All right.
Yeah, I already sent it on here.
You lib.
But it was Jim Sekuno. Jim Sekuno? Sekuno. Sekudo.
I'm not going to correct you. No, hold on. No, hold on. Keep saying, what was that again? Say it one more time.
Seshudo. Jim Seshudo.
Jim Shudo.
Jim Shudo. Oh. I'm trying to pronounce both T's at the same time. Shudo. But it's Shudo. Jim Shudo. There you go. But he was talking about, and you can see my quote tweet on it, and he was talking about how, he only appeared on TV to answer questions on the pandemic and shit. And he's so full of shit. Absolutely full of shit. He went on there to give himself more of a status within the media and within DC, and now he's going to sell his book, and the only people buying his book are the people who bought it shit, like Nicole. I can't. I'm going to go buy your book. Well, whatever the fuck her name is.
So how did you pronounce that name again?
Jim Shudo.
No,
Shusido. I said Shusido because it's Sciutto, but it's Jim Dickface piece of garbage.
I thought you did Sekudo.
Jim Sekuno.
Jim
Sekudo. That's his
name. So yes, that is the current state of play. We'll see what happens with Fauci. Now, look, the great thing about it is that we are now on the other side of all this shit, and most of us know not to trust this motherfucker. There are still going to be, the resistance libs on Twitter who are like, I got my Fauci ouchie, and
I got my Fauci ouchie.
Yeah, like the people who are clearly Fauci simps, who will continue to take his advice. They'll stay wearing a mask, continue to be anti-science because masks don't work, and that's just kind of how it is right now. But I should point out that every single argument that they brought up to basically justify everything about the pandemic has gone to shit, and we cannot let them get away with it. They're going to continue to lie and say what actually happened and just retcon everything until we just get tired and give up. So don't let them forget that shit. In fact, I was very close, very, very close, Jay. I can't tell you how close I was to starting a war in my family group chat by simply sending a screenshot of that Fauci email to my very incredibly liberal family, telling them masks don't work. It would have been World War III.
It would have been. Your dad would have came back. He's like, "Are you the doctor or me?"
No, well, no. Bubba would have my back. Bubba would have my back for the most part. He would be very diplomatic. It's my mom who would basically try to strangle me. So
I can't wait for your mom everyone's and my mom to meet.
Oh man, I really hope your mom red pills my mom. We've been trying so hard. It would have been, we've been trying so hard.
My mom's not fully red pilled. I gave her like a light red pill. That's what happened.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it. Carl's asking you to send the screenshot, coward. I didn't send it. I almost did. I was very close to doing it. So
do it, you coward. Do it, Habibi.
Maybe, Jay, maybe when we all get together, we can do it together.
We're having dinner and stuff, and out of nowhere, she's saying, like, and this is what Siraj looked like when he was 6 years old. You know, masks don't work.
Yeah, everything Dr. Anthony Fauci said was a lie.
Right? Just we'll do it for the TikTok.
Do it for the TikTok, for the content. Exactly, guys.